Hey, so for some of you may know, like my sister Cassandra, Tesla has started to enable full self-driving to quite a few other people as of this morning. So what they've been doing is, for the last couple weeks, they've been scoring people on their driving, and people that have a perfect score, last night they would have received the Tesla full self-driving update to their car. And because I am a perfect driver, as Cassandra can affirm to that, I received it on both our Teslas, and this is the first drive of full self-driving on my Tesla. So I'm going to head to Phoenix today, but I will do a short video right here to demonstrate how well this works. Now, I may have to take over the driving because this is still beta, but I will let you know if that happens. But this will be a pretty short video until I get to the highway, maybe 5 minutes or so. So let me go ahead and make sure full self-driving is enabled on the car. Go here to the settings, go to autopilot, and I've already turned it on, beta full self-driving, and you can see the visualization right here where it sees basically the curb that I am about ready to get to. I've already entered a destination of Glendale, Arizona. I'm going to tell it to start navigating to that destination, and I am going to
now turn right onto Westmore
activate
Road.
full self-driving by pulling this little lever behind here. There we go. And it should be on. Let's see, make sure it stops right here. I had this problem a minute ago. I'm going to help it around the corner here just till we get it on the road. There we go. Now, as you can see, the car has put the blinker on. I am doing nothing other than just kind of holding on to the steering wheel. It requires that. And you just got to make sure. Okay, well, that didn't work very well. I had to take over the first corner. Okay, so there we go. All right, so the car is driving again. You can see the car is driving by this little symbol right here that's blue on the steering wheel, and we'll see what happens. Again, this is beta. This is the first day I have had this. Actually, this is the first time I've had it, and you can see that I had to touch the steering wheel, so it's going to make me hold on to the steering wheel the whole time as I'm driving the car. So the car is completely driving right now on its own, but we'll see what happens when it gets up to this first corner. Tesla is doing this all with cameras around the cars. They call it Tesla Vision, and you can see the lines in the road. Those are actually being generated by the view of the cameras as they're looking across the road. There's actually 3 cameras up here in the windshield, and there's a total of 8 cameras around the vehicle. So we'll see what happens up here, because this car has never driven full self-driving on this road right here.
In 500 feet,
And you can see it coming over. There we go. I am just covering the wheel, making sure I'm not doing anything with my pedals or anything. You can see that. So we'll see if it decides to go on a right on red. I'm not sure if it will or not. There is no traffic coming. I can tap the, okay, so the light just turned green and now it's going. See what lane it gets into. You can see I'm clearly not doing anything with the wheel. The car took the corner itself. And
turn
now
right onto West Tangerine Road.
we are heading down the road. It's changing lanes right here. And what I have to do is I have to actually touch the wheel a little bit, put a little bit of pressure on it in order to let it know that I'm here, that I'm not sleeping or jumping in the back seat or whatever. And you can see all the markings. That actually is pretty cool. All of those markings are being generated from the camera view, so it doesn't read that off a map or anything. It's making those because of the cameras that's up here in the windshield. And you can see my foot is nowhere on the gas pedal or the brake. You can see the green light up here. We'll see the visualization. And as you come through the intersection, you should see the stop lights in the corner, top corner. There you go. And it is still driving on its own. So I'm going to just let it drive down this road till it gets up to the on-ramp of the highway, and I'll probably take it, I'm going to let it drive all the ways to Phoenix on its own, which is about 120 miles to where I'm going, but I'll probably stop the video once I get on the on-ramp and start heading towards Phoenix on I-10. But you can see, I'm clearly doing nothing here. The car has set the speed limit at 50. It read the speed limit signs back there and knows that the speed limit on this road is 50 miles per hour. Looks like a nice day here in Tucson. I'm actually going to Phoenix today to do a test ride, and I believe it's going to be a BMW with some type of self-driving on it. They're asking owners of Teslas to drive BMWs, what they're calling driver assist, kind of like an active cruise control that might do some lane changing and such, and then compare it to what Tesla has done. I have a friend that already did that last week, and they said that system is really all over the place. It's not very good at all, but you can see here this thing is cruising down the road pretty good. It's not I'm not doing anything other than just kind of holding onto the wheel here a little bit, just giving a little bit of pressure to let it know that I'm still here. If I stop giving it pressure or take my hands completely off the wheel, I'm going to keep my hand here, but I'm not going to touch anything, and I'll show you what happens once you give it no pressure. Pretty quickly you can see a little white line right there start showing up, and that is the car telling you need to put some pressure on the wheel. So and this is the first time I've driven, or this is the first time the car's actually driven under the 10.2 Tesla full self-driving beta, and they gave this program to about 1,000 people this morning across the country who had a perfect driving score for their safety security, or safety score they're calling it. And what it does is it tracks hard braking, hard turning, following too close, disengagement. So if I stop touching the wheel altogether and I don't do anything, the car will eventually, within probably 30 seconds, disengage autopilot or full self-driving and pull over to the side of the road and turn the hazards on. See, but if you do that, Tesla, if you get too many of those disengagements, Tesla may disable you from using this system again. So you do have to keep a little bit of pressure on the wheel here. As you can see, we're navigating to Phoenix, about 114 miles. It's going 55 The speed limit is actually 50, but the system will let you go 5 over. And I can control that if I want. You can see the vehicles as they pass. And it is doing this all with Tesla Vision. And that is the cameras that are up here and the cameras that are around the car. There's actually 8 cameras, 3 in the windshield, 2 in the front fenders, 2 in the pillars behind the driver and passenger door, and 1 in the rear.
In 1 mile, turn right onto North Casa Grande Highway.
Alright. So it should start slowing down when it gets up to this curve. We'll see what happens. I'll get ready. Yep, there it goes. I can feel it slowing down right now. And if you look, you can see I'm not touching the brake at all. The car is slowing down, 49, 50, 51. It's trying to figure out where it wants to be. Alright, the speed limit now says 40 miles per hour. They're 45. So we'll let it sit at 40 right here around this curve. Gonna make sure that just in case it fails, I can grab the wheel. And it's going to come up to a railroad track here. I'm not quite sure what it's going to do at the railroad track. And then right past the railroad track, it's going to, the on-ramp to the freeway is there. So here it goes again, coming up to, looks like some construction. And you can see it's coming up to these vehicles and hitting the brakes pretty hard. Okay, there we go. I'm not sure what that was, but it was kind of swerving there for a second. And you can see I didn't hit the brake at all. The car did all of that. It's actually a little bit scary when it comes up because it does come up behind people pretty fast. So what Tesla is doing is they've removed or disabled the radar on their vehicles. They have forward-facing radar on some of their vehicles, and they've actually disabled that, and they're now using Tesla Vision to completely control the driving. So the distance and all of that normally would be done by radar, but Tesla's using its cameras to do that now. All right, so I don't see it.
Now turn right onto North Casa Grande Highway.
There we go. It looks like it's going to stop here for the red light. And let's see if it tries to go. It looks like it's inching out to go on right on red. And you can see it keep inching out. Should figure out it needs to go. Okay, there it goes. And you can see I'm not doing anything. This car is doing all that by itself.
500 feet, take the Interstate 10 West ramp on the left toward Phoenix.
And here comes the ramp.
Take the Interstate
And you can
10
see
West
I am not
ramp on
doing
the left.
anything. The car's entering the freeway all on its own. Should turn on the blinker, I think, once it gets up here to the freeway. And it set the speed limit at 80. And everything looks clear. Turn on the blinker. And there we go. So we are on the on-ramp. So I didn't do anything all the ways from my house there. So you can see that the car completely took over 100% of the driving. It's now changing lanes on its own. And so what it's going to do is it's going to figure out the fastest lane to be in based on my speed. Normally, if it's a 3-lane road, it'll usually pick the middle lane unless it needs to pass somebody, and then it'll go ahead and get in the left lane and pass them and then get back out of the left lane again. But yeah, I mean, it's the highway part really works well. They've been doing this. It's called autopilot. They've been doing that for quite a while, but it's the on-street driving in town is what was really released last night to about 1,000 people, and that's where it can navigate the city streets, stop lights, turning the corners, all of that. And yeah, I mean, it's doing it all on its own. You do have to pay attention. You do have to be prepared to grab the wheel at any time and take over. So. See the visualization is actually pretty cool. So it sees the truck right there. It was a box truck right there, and there's a pickup truck right there, and you can actually see on the screen. It shows it as a pickup truck. So there you go. That's Tesla full self-driving. Still a little bit scary, but the car did drive, take me all the ways to the highway. I anticipate I got about 109 miles to go to my destination. I probably won't have to do anything. It's pretty good. This should take me right to the hotel that I'm going to in Phoenix. So I'll just let it keep going here for another couple minutes. Yeah, a little bit creepy. It's actually a little bit scary too when it comes up behind traffic, just because if it's stopping, you're hoping that it's going to stop, but it seems like it's kind of like this driving with a full self-driving car is like driving with a person that just got their driver's license and is still learning. You can see right now the car's actually changing lanes because it sees that semi a little bit slower up there, so it just changed lanes to get in the that knows it's going to pass that vehicle up there. But yeah, it's like driving with a brand new driver, and if any of you have done that, you know how fast they come up behind vehicles, and you're not quite sure if they're really going to stop. But that is exactly the way the full self-driving with Tesla works, or at least right now. I'm sure they'll figure that out and smooth it out a little bit. But you can see the visualization with this as we pass this semi. It actually sees it as a semi, and now you can see it deciding it wants to change lanes again, and it's going to get out of the fast lane. There it goes. Pretty simple. The only thing I'm doing is I'm kind of covering the steering wheel a little bit and putting a little bit of pressure on the steering wheel just to let the car know that I'm still here. And if you don't do that, the car will start warning you, and then after a few warnings, it will disengage the self-driving and pull the car over to the side of the road and put the hazards on and stop. Oh, and it looks like there's a Tesla right behind us too. We'll wave hi to the Tesla as they come by us. Say hi to the other Tesla. So looks like it's going to change lanes here again to get around this car. You can see I'm not doing anything. The car's doing it all by itself, putting the blinker on, changing the lanes. It'll pass this car and then it'll get back out of the fast lane. If any of you are in Watertown, you know that there is a brand new Tesla Supercharger in Watertown. Here it comes out of the fast lane again, getting back into the middle lane. This car that I'm in a Tesla Model S Performance, and this car will go about 340 miles on a charge. So going up to Phoenix and coming back today, I won't charge at all. I can get all the ways up there and come back, no problem, back to Tucson. So I am going to leave it at that. This car will do this driving for me all the ways to Phoenix. I just have to pay attention and make sure it doesn't mess up on anything. But where the fun part is when you're in town, letting it try to figure out the traffic in town and going around corners and such. So anyways, thanks for watching, and I will talk to you later.